Breaking news. James Savory has been sentenced to 10 months in prison.
Why would I plead guilty to something I never did?
The crowd is leaving the courthouse in tears, and Savory had tears coming from his eyes as sheriffs escorted him out of the courtroom.
It doesn't matter how ridiculous the circumstances are. If you speak out against the government and the narratives that it's pushing, they're going to hammer you.
What do you make of the sentencing?
You know what? We can expect this in a liberal appointed judge system. We don't have a judicial system anymore. So I didn't expect quite this harsh. You know, listening to all the cases he brought up to attention, I thought, okay, maybe 6 months and some house arrest. But yeah, they threw the book at him. They got to make an example here. And he's obviously, got pressure from above to make examples here and keep this pressure on us so that this stuff doesn't continue. It's disappointing for him and his family, and I hope he appeals right away and that he gets out, and then, like I say, we got to get campaigning for him to help get this appeal process going, and hopefully he's only in for maybe a week during this process and get out and try to appeal it.
Well, if you go back to his first lawyer, that was the biggest mistake. That lawyer should have never, ever had James say that or suggest that. She thought that that's going to make it easier. All it did was bring it back on his head. I do not believe one bit, not for one iota, that happened. I do not believe it. Common sense tells you this didn't happen.
What does this message that you're talking about what is this message that the court is sending to Canadians?
That you don't speak up.
What is the message the courts are sending here?
They're sending a strong message to go against the protesters. That's what I feel. It makes me very nervous with our own trial coming up in April that, you know what, they're trying to send a message, and it's coming from the feds, that deal with these harshly so that it doesn't continue.
James was bringing humanitarian aid. He was delivering firewood. That's why they made an example of him.
Yeah, I think that there was an opportunity for the judiciary system to show what is true and right, and that they have failed the people of Canada.
We don't have justice. We just have a corrupt legal system here. And the players in that building are just corrupt. I'm sorry. There's no other way to describe it.
Instead of the number of people in jail decreasing, it seems like it's going to be increasing.
Oh, definitely, right? Because there's going to be an outcry from this. A lot of people were really rooting that he was going to get a lighter sentence and let this go. But now with the sentence like this is going to get a public outcry, and I feel it should. And I feel we need to put more pressure on our provincial, on our leader Danielle Smith. You know what? This is crazy, right? These kind of punishments for this kind of things. It has to change. And there again, but the only way it changes is the powers in the people.
Do you have a message to the media that didn't show up today?
Disappointing. You know what? This was a public case that everyone was aware of. It had nothing to do with no publication bans in effect. So you know what? They obviously don't want the public to see what's going on. Our judicial system is no longer there. We have a lawless society going on right now.
It was the last thing I expected, for them to actually incarcerate him for 10 months. He certainly didn't use examples. The judge did not use examples that I felt like were remotely related to the crime that they had convicted him of. And what's more is to put him in jail and make him now deal with all these criminals, just like the Coutts 4. It's the things that they have had to see in those remand centers cannot be unseen. And now they're doing it to one more innocent man.
Was that the decision you were expecting?
Certainly, I expected that, but I'm really pissed off and disappointed. A crying policeman who took on the job of standing between peaceful people and people with aggression, knew what he was taking on. Don't come with Kleenex issues now that he's crying because he doesn't like doing what he has to do. That is his job. He knows that he stands between aggression and peace. And so this is ridiculous. Here's a guy who still pleads innocence. He did not harm anybody. You have a broken traffic cone, or a traffic cone that got ridden over, the only damage that was caused. So this is a travesty of justice.
Well, what do you make of the recent sentencing?
Oh, it's upsetting for the family and for his boys, his kids. What we need to focus on now is get his appeal raised. We have to raise the money to get his appeal. If we can do that immediately, we can look at maybe getting him out in 2 weeks and actually have actual justice. He had an incompetent lawyer. It's very clear that people didn't actually take the matters and look at it the way it should have been. There's some material information here that didn't make it into court, and I think James deserves the ability to do so. James, if you hear this, we love you, brother, and we're going to fight for you, and we're never going to forget about you. God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you for what sort of message, in your opinion, they are trying to send?
Just zero tolerance for any type of fighting back for their rhetoric. You don't like what they say, this is what they do to you. They'll throw you in jail for 10 months because you accidentally hit a pylon. It was a smear case in there, for sure.
Well, thank you for your time. And my last question, where's the media?
Yeah, where is the media? That's you, Mocha. You're the only media that shows up. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, it's absolutely the message to each one of us to just be subservient.
Please consider going to mediabizergan.com/donate to support my mission to bring you coverage of significant events like this one where no other media shows up, not even mainstream media. Thank you.